Yes, Jen, this is James Smith, and this is my assignment, week 3 of course number 2, Theology and Ministry with People with Disabilities. We're supposed to read chapter 9 and 10 of Redefining Perfect by Amy Jacober. And so, first, a little synopsis of the reading. Chapter 9 was somewhat of a repeat of what we did in course 1. I would think would be safe to say. I did enjoy how she broke down the ways disabilities happen. I was just an insightful way that she did it. And I'll just read those: from birth, from injury, from illness, from age, from mental illness, and then from intellectual and developmental disabilities. I just enjoy the way that she kind of phrased that, and meaning that it was kind of a repeat of what we did in the first course. I won't go into great detail there, but I did enjoy the way that she broke those up. And then for she talked about for friends of those with disabilities. I enjoyed that, and the story of the. I like the story that she shared of the paralyzed man that someone was willing, his friends were willing to put him through the roof there, and I'm kind of. It kind of relates to a little bit of what one goes through when one is disabled. Um, and that there are many times that you need friends and family to help you, and finding folks that are willing to do it. Some folks are not willing to do it. They're kind of scared. Imagine if the folks would have been scared that they might have dropped him. He would have never had that encounter with Jesus that he did, but they were willing to do that. And many times that happens to people with disabilities. They just need someone to help them a little bit. And then I like the part that we go into leadership. I enjoyed where she talked about that and how we need people to the disability community to not only be in leadership, but also you have to be willing to be in leadership, and that's something that we need to encourage people that are disabled to do. And sometimes it does take some courage and going out a little bit for people of this disability community to do that. So anything that we can do to help and encourage them to do that is wonderful. Chapter 10, of course, a lot of discussion in our group about almost everybody talked the suffering and hope. So this is where most of that went. I like the quote from Loder. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Suffering is the sense of nothingness and abandonment, and that is indeed what happens to many folks, and not just in disability, but folks that are just kind of not included in the Christian world and just in society in general. And we daily need to do what we can to help people that are disabled uh, to to um, to not feel abandoned. And that's one of the biggest issues that folks deal with. But hope was such a great talk here. Uh, uh, for God for God to bring forth the new reality, and the new reality is that you can do all things through Christ. And and then the examples, and I shared this in my discussion also. I just love the examples that she had concerning MS. It just hits home because my wife has multiple sclerosis, and then the example of Joni that I had a direct thing. I explained that, but I was sitting in the hospital recovering from my surgery, and they had this tendency for some reason they wanted, and was told there was a reason when you have a brain injury they wanted the TV on CNN for some reason. I didn't ultimately care for that, but for this one occasion I did. And this back when Larry King was doing his shows on at night on CNN, and whether this happened at that time frame, they were repeating and stuff also. But they had Joni Erickson Tada on, and it was right when I was understanding that I was going to be paralyzed most likely for the rest of my life on my left side, and it just gave me hope that I was going to get through it. And it was just so well timed. It was just obviously a God moment for me. Key takeaways from this week: everyone has suffering in their lives, whether you're disabled or not disabled. But the disability community has it even more because you have normal life, regular life. I mean, not only are you disabled, but you also have the normal things that happen in life. And many times those are even amplified because of the disability. Abandonment, not being included in things, illness and pain. We must show the hope of Jesus as we help folks see his life, and through Scripture. And then secondly, we're asked what we could do differently to help. And I really enjoyed in the book the example of when you're with someone that's blind. I've run into the church I previously went to had someone who was blind, and often it's something I never thought about. But in the future, if I ever run into someone that's blind, I'm going to make sure and say my name, talk directly to them, and make sure that I'm right there where they can hear me. And I had the wonderful time to get to know someone in a previous church I was at who was blind, and I won't say I get to get them. I wasn't super friends with them, but I got to talk to them on a number of occasions, and it's just something I never thought about. And I'm really glad that she brought this out, and it's something that will really make an impact if I see anyone else that is that. I guess it would apply too as far as someone is deaf. I know making sure that you enunciate very well and you talk clearly so that they're most likely reading your lips, that they will be able to understand. And some things like that we don't always think about that I think are important for us to do, and that's just something I noticed that I really enjoyed. Thank you very much, and enjoy your week off as we will too, and see you back on. I guess we start back on April 10th. Thank you. Bye bye.